other permissions also we are in the process of getting. So I'm really thankful. I would not like to take much of your time, though I would like to talk more about Amravati, but I wish that next time we have otherwise we will plan a similar session for all the people who are in the real estate sector, and then you can come and see the opportunities yourself, and please associate with the government of Andhra Pradesh in having a truly, 21st century new capital. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing across your valuable perspectives, the plans, initiatives, and the way forward. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we're about to march to the next segment, I'd like to once again humbly invite back Shri Ajay Jain to please come on the stage, sir. We're about to begin with our next segment for the evening. So if I may please request you to please come on stage. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started with the next segment, as a token of gratitude to thank Shri Ajay Jain, I'd firstly like to request Mr. Manish Bhatia to please come on stage and present a token of gratitude to our guest of honor, Shri Ajay Jain. And may I also invite Mr. Rishi Kapoor, the sector head of ETH, to please come on stage and present a floral bouquet to thank Shri Ajay Jain for his valuable presence this evening. Well, I'm going to request all the three dignitaries to please remain on the stage as well. We are about to get started with the felicitation process. And so I'm going to request you to kindly come forward, if that would be okay, sir. Super. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we're about to get started with the felicitation. As we're all aware, this evening we'll be honoring the developers for their valuable contribution in the real estate sector, having charted a growth story and having inspired many of us. So this is the evening that truly stands for felicitation. So on that note, let's get the felicitation process started. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, let's have a huge round of applause for NCC Limited. May I please humbly invite on stage Padma Shri Dr. A.V.S. Raju, the chairman of NCC Limited, to please come on stage to receive this honor. Can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our veteran in the industry, Padma Shri Dr. A.V.S. Raju Garu. I'd like to request our guest of honor, Shri Ajay Jain, to please present the trophy. Can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And if I may please request Sri Raju Garu, sir, if you'd please share a few words with the August gathering.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are deeply honored by the Economic Times Realty Convention today. NCC is one of the top builders in the country. In fact, we are the second largest construction company in India, next only to L&T. Last year we had a top line of about 9,500 crores, and we have an order book of more than 20,000 crores. This is all the brainchild of this great man sitting here. He is a visionary leader and is a founder chairman of our company. And we have one real estate subsidiary called NCC Urban, which is into real estate development across mostly in South India. And we have a few projects in Hyderabad city also, which are doing reasonably well. And we are grateful to Economic Times Convention for this honor bestowed on the company. It belongs to all the employees and various categories of officials in the company, and also the promoter directors and the chairman. And I wish you all the best for this convention and all the best for the deliberations. I thank Mr. Ajay Jain for his contribution here, and thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you once again, sir, for that valuable message for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now move on with our next round of felicitation as well. And can we have a huge round of applause for Aditya Construction Company? May I please invite the Managing Director of Aditya Construction Company, Mr. Rajesh Pagadala, to please come on stage. Mr. Rajesh, so if I may please request you to please share a few words.
This has come at a last minute surprise to us. Really thankful for Economic Times, ET, Edge, and then Hindware for sponsoring this event. Thank you, sir, very much for taking your time and coming forward and explaining about Amaravati, because we have strong roots in the Amaravati region. So we'll definitely be taking up the opportunity and then discussing with you offline. But it seems like a full house here. Seems like we're going to have an energetic evening and discussions. And I can see there's a lot of deliberations we're going to be doing. Great. Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Well, congratulations to the team as well. Well, we march ahead and let's have a huge round of applause for Aparna Constructions. Well, I'd like to request Martina, our team member, to receive on behalf of Aparna Constructions. Well, as we had earlier announced, the felicitation is to honor the developers for their contribution in the real estate sector. So we now march ahead and let's have a huge round of applause for Praneeth Group. May I please invite Mr. Narendra Kumar Kamaraju, Managing Director of Praneeth Group, to please come on stage and receive the trophy. And I'd also like to request Mr. Narendra to please share a few words with the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. Praneeth Group is just an 80-year-old company in Hyderabad. We are primarily into villa construction in Hyderabad. We have delivered more than 2,000 houses to our happy customers. And we have more than 1,500 on hand in different stages. I thank Economic Times, for giving this honor to us. Thank you very much. Have a good evening to all of you.
Thank you and congratulations to the entire team of Praneeth Group. Well, moving on to our final round of felicitation, ladies and gentlemen, can we have an enthusiastic round of applause for SMR Holdings? May I please invite Mr. S. Ram Reddy, Managing Director of SMR Holdings and also President Credai, to please come on stage and receive the trophy. If I may please request you to share a few words. If I may please request Mr. Reddy Garu. So please, if you may please share a few words.
Thank you, Economic Times. So let me first say a good evening to all our friends and colleagues and our companies, the Hindware, JSW, and other sponsors here. We are very much delighted to have this convention here, and we are going to be here as a member panel. So we are going to discuss more. Thank you very much. Thank you. Actually, we were just eager to hear more about Amaravati and your totally your CM's planning, These are the opportunities where actually we also get more exposure and we get actually focused. Uh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have the presence of Mr. Rakesh Reddy, Director of Aparna Construction. So may I please invite him on the stage to receive the trophy. And can we have a round of applause for Aparna Constructions? And now that he's here, let's make this award more official as well. Well, sir, we're going to request you to share a few words as well with the gathering.
First of all, apologies for being a bit late. It's almost taken me an hour coming from the place where I was here. Traffic was a bit heavy today. Anyways, it's not an excuse always. But I just want to thank ET for organizing this award function. This is probably the right time and probably high time this happened, because the industry is turning for the good, and it's time for all of us to celebrate. So I think this is one occasion that we can use to do the celebration. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for those optimistic words indeed. Thank you and congratulations to the team as well. And can we have a huge round of applause one more time for all our winners, all those who have been felicitated this evening. On that note, I'd like to once again thank Shri Ajay Jain as well as Mr. Manish Bhatia and Mr. Rishi Kapoor for doing the honors. Thank you very much. I kindly request you all to please take your seats. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, it's now time to set the stage for a lot of perspectives from some of our very, very esteemed speakers who have joined us this evening. And we're about to begin with our first panel discussion on the future of the built environment, high, smart, or mixed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite on stage our set of speakers. May I please request them to please take their seats on the dais. I'd firstly like to invite Mr. Manish Bhatia, President of HSI Limited, Mr. Gururaj Manipalli, Principal Architect, Raga, Chairman of Indian Institute of Architects, Mr. N. Nandakishore, Executive Director, Ramki Estates and Farms Limited, Mr. Rajesh Pagarala, Managing Director, Aditya Construction Company, Mr. Pradeep Kumar, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Sri Krishna Group, Mr. S. Ram Reddy, Chairman and Managing Director, SMR Holdings, President Kradai, and our session chairman, the one who is actually going to be moderating and spearheading the discussion. May I please invite Mr. Srinivas Murthy Ji, Principal Architect of the SMG Design Inc. And let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a fabulous panel discussion, and we're going to be extracting all the perspectives possible. We're going to get the mics we're going to get the mics plugged into you as well, sir. And I'm going to hand over the proceedings to our panel chair, Mr. Srinivas Murthy.
this also is very much true about the present scenario of real estate in this city at least, which has seen a little bit of compromise, a little bit of slowing down, and things are now picking up, which is a good sign, as Mr. Reddy from Aparna said. But interestingly, as Mr. Bhatia had mentioned, so you almost stole my beginning line. We have witnessed Chennai, and we are now going to witness Delhi with different set of problems. I guess somewhere that brings us full circle. When we are celebrating growth, we are celebrating new inventions, new real estate projects, new investments, housing for all the people who need it, and at the same time we are also facing some of these hard realities of where do we stand vis-a-vis our cities. And in that context, I think it's very important to mention that the other big agenda that has been talked about in the last few weeks is the climate change. So we are trying to see if we can connect all these issues, and we have some eminent panels with us here on the stage today, and they're going to share some real insights with all of you, and I'm sure they will come out with some real pearls of wisdom, as we would say, out of their experience in being in the industry for a long time. So where do we begin? So we are all talking about Realty, and Realty is all about building activity, and predominantly it is related to providing dwelling units. Many of you who have been attending some of these conferences related to Realty sector, and where you have government officials coming and talking, you always hear this huge shortage of housing units that we are faced with, 5 million, 6 million, I don't know what the figure stands today. And we have been always told that there is enough for all of us to continue to build for coming 10, 20 years. And at the same time, and I have fellow architects sitting right next to me here, and we always keep hearing from our clients here who are the developers saying, oh, the market is slow, we are not able to build, we are not able to sell. So where is this whole gap really emerging? If there is so much of need and the figure seems to be only increasing and increasing, and then at the same time there are issues where the projects are actually not taking off. If they are taking off, they are not being sold. So this is one issue which has always been at the helm of our thinking, that where are we heading for? And what are the kind of issues that are related to this kind of a scenario to emerge? One of my favorite conclusions, or I would say rather not yet conclusion, but probably part of the study, is that how we have changed in the last 2 decades in terms of, as a nation, as an economy, we have opened up, we have much more resources, many more tools available in terms of development, and definitely as a nation we have become very aspirational. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, is on a world tour these days, and every convention he does not forget to mention the fact that 65% of the population of this country is below the age of 35. So that's your new market, which is we are talking about. And that's very interesting, which I feel from an architectural and from a real estate perspective to look at. That the profile of the buyer in this country has changed in the last 20, 30 odd years. I remember in our parents' time, probably the priorities was to provide good education and upbringing to your kids, and then probably look after their so-called marriages and making sure that they move on in their life. And then your own house and the car was almost like the end of your retirement thing. So while you were young and working, you took care of the family, and when you were ready to retire, you started building your house. So house was almost like an ending point. And it was also a very well thought out strategy throughout the life. But today, I think the house is the starting point. There have been instances which many sociologists have also are now talking about, that how owning a flat or a four-wheeler is a precursor to even getting married. I mean, your eligibility of being a good bride or a groom depends on, do you really have a flat of your own, or do you have a bike or a car of your own? So in that sense, definitely this whole young nation, the perspective of looking at life and what you want to achieve. And interestingly enough,
Just 2 days before, I'm sure many of you would have noticed a huge article in Times of India where there were 4 pictures of 4 young couples. In fact, 2 of them were bachelors who had not even got married. And it says that there is a 23-year-old boy who is earning 17,000 rupees a month, and the calculation is given that his aspiration is to buy a flat in somewhere in Bombay, and how he would be able to achieve and all that. So I'm saying you can see that what the nation is talking about, where the aspiration is going. And somewhere, if you look at it from again a social studies perspective, that what is that is reflecting of us today. Who is buying ultimately these properties? So yes, young people are buying, but there is also a huge sector where people are buying for the second and the third and the fourth time, which is also more to do with, I would say, the speculation or sometimes even mere investment in a good property to probably get good returns. If we were to go a little deeper, why would a person buy second, third or a fourth flat if he doesn't need it or if he is not going to live in that? Probably yes, you are supplying into the housing demand in terms of rental, but beyond that what happens? And we have heard a lot that, typically in Telugu also,